Hello and welcome to the live, right? Today is we are going UK, right? How much more trust can UK place in the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer? Is this secretly or openly giving away our sovereignty? I can't understand and I can't believe what he has done. Did he give the United Kingdom to Brussels the power of our courts, our crown courts, to the European Court of Justice? I can't believe this. Anyway, if this is the first time you've come across my channel, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. Today we are talking about the United Kingdom politics. What are we doing? What are we doing? In 2016, we voted by referendum to leave the European Union. And it was David Cameron who initiated it, and he made the choice that if we win, if the vote is for coming out of the EU, he would resign, and he did. And Theresa May, the Right Honourable Theresa May, came in as the leader of the party. Okay, so, well, going on, she was unable to do a complete removal of the United Kingdom from the, I don't know what they tied themselves up to. So it was causing a lot of problems. And during the election, she lost. And Boris Johnson, many people voted for Boris Johnson because we wanted out. We wanted out. And even the UKIP, at that time it was UKIP, Farage was the leader. And we all thought that we would honestly leave the European Union. But that's why Farage supported Boris. So, well, it happened that the, what you call the thing now, COVID came, and there was a lot of issue there. Boris tried, and some deals were made for our removal of the from the European Union. But then COVID came, and people doesn't see past their nose, and so many people were blaming him for COVID. And I mean, we can see past that COVID thing. We can see past that COVID thing. I believe if Boris was there, we would never had made a deal with the European Union as at today. What has happened? So the Conservative Party, that's why I got angry with the Conservative Party. They voted, they kicked him out. They kicked him out. And after they kicked him out, they installed, no, we voted for, this was party members, we voted for Liz Truss. Liz Truss didn't spend more than 4 months the in the leadership as a prime minister. They kicked her out and installed Rishi Sunak, who they wanted, right? He could not win any election, that's the first thing. But I know if Liz Truss has been given the opportunity, she would have won that election. And there would never have been a chance for Labour to come in and install United European Union again in our life, in the British people's life. Okay. So we know when Boris stood election, I voted for him because I'm a Conservative member at that point. Boris was elected by a landslide. So when COVID came, which did not allow Boris to leave the EU freely, then the government, his members and the Conservative members kicked him out. Right. So now let's look at how this government operates, how the United Kingdom politics operates. Okay, Cameron was he won first election, and he was there in the government from the 2010 to 2016. I mean, and so he wasn't allowed to go. Well, he resigned, so he didn't do his full second term, which he would have won if he had stayed. But he resigned because he's a man of his word. He said it and he did it. So I like people like that who they believe in what they said and they went on in completing their ambition or whatever they had said. So then we got Theresa May, who came in at 2016, and she was there till 2019 when Boris Johnson won the election, right? So after the Boris served from 2019 to 2022 until these members of the Conservative people thought that, oh, well, we don't want you because you created COVID, our people died, you went to a party, blah, blah, blah. All that was just nonsense, right? You know, the man himself was sick with COVID. So, what made that difference from those people who caught the disease and died? I mean, many of those who died are younger than I am, right? You should take very fine care of yourself when you are in public places. If you have poor health or you are so, how you call it now, or if you are somebody who would contact disease so easily, right? Okay, so then we got when after they remove Elizabeth, that's her full name, Right Honorable Elizabeth Trust, they actually installed Rishi Sunak. They didn't give us the opportunity to vote for who we wanted, but nevertheless, when he came in, I supported him. Many people supported him, but it seems as if he wasn't carrying on what we voted for. So obviously, during the election last year, many people turned against him and voted him out because he was, first of all, because of the European Court of Justice, he was unable to carry out any of his policies, which was stop the boats that were coming in from our borders. He was not able to do that, and any other, and carry on with the Brexit process, the policy which Boris was trying to do. So now the updates. So we get last year when Keir won by landslide, our people were just ignorant of some facts because, to be honest with you, I was with the I was with the Labour Party for many years since my student days. I was with the Labour Party, and so therefore, I was really, really a devoted person. But the way I saw the party was moving to that deep left side, I said, no, this I can't bear with this policy and things like that. Then Keir Starmer won, obviously, although I was a conservative member. But I voted Reform because I trusted Reform's policy, what they stood for, and the party was talking sense in my ear, and what they were saying is what I actually stood for, right? I'm not like a far right or far left. No, I'm not. I'm not in any left or right, right? I am there as a person. So don't want people to be putting me in a box. Okay, so now we know Sir Keir Starmer was actually a Remainer. So we know that him coming in would definitely change the landscape of our European policies and British politics, right? So now, can we say it's a betrayal of the British people because the British people voted and in a landslide to leave the European Union? And many of those who voted to leave the European Union, they would have understood because they sent leaflet explaining why we are coming out and what will happen when we leave and all this sort of thing. There are many places. If it was only about trust, what you call it now, if it was only about trade, right? There are many countries we could do trade with. There's no point in fooling ourselves and saying Europe. Europe don't care about the United Kingdom. They are very selfish. The people who are in power in Europe, right? They care about themselves. So, but this now we heard that there was a summit, a bilateral meeting with the European leader, and I just think that this is a betrayal. We couldn't have another referendum because referendum comes only once, but we could have found a way of dealing with this issue than do this blunt betrayal of the people. So, well, we say that it is a landmark post-Britain deal. Well, that's what our Prime Minister said. Our Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. So, what is this deal? The deal that was made with the European Union, right, in the summit in London, right? Okay, so it's the new reset for Europe, a new reset for Europe. Yeah, Keir Starmer has signed a landmark post-Brexit deal with the European Union. So the Prime Minister said the agreement is a new era in our relationship at the bilateral summit in London this week, right? Well, he said, moving on from stale, this is his words, moving on from stale old debates. He said that this was what the British people voted for last year. So now he is implying that when the British people voted for him to come into power last year, it was because they wanted to get back into the EU to do business with them. I don't think so. Because even when these British people now put you in power, you try to take away all what these British people were used to. right? Their jobs that were lost, the farmers' rights, the nurses, and all these sort of things, and the cold weather payment, and all these sorts of things. What do these British people care about EU when internally they are suffering? So why go outside in the EU, right? So anyway, let's get on with it. Let's see what happens next, right? So he has said that the British people voted for what he did, what he just did this week. So, um, well, Nigel Farage, who is the reform leader, I mean, he was the instigator at the European Parliament where he was saying, we are leaving, we are going, and we are not coming back. And he trusted the leaders in the government for not for us to return to the EU. Now, what a laughing stock. Why would they not laugh at us? Why would they not laugh at us that we did say we are going to leave the EU, and yet still we are attached to them as if we are twins? Okay, Farage, he said, the leader said, the deal is a surrender to EU by Keir Starmer. I don't blame him. I believe that is true. It's like you're surrendering to these people, right? Or to to the European Union. Well, what is this deal? What the deal? What is it? Right? Is there benefit? Well, we'll get to that later. Is that benefit for UK or EU? How could reform benefit? Let's look at the deal and see what this agreement is all about. The agreement includes, right, according to sources, defense, fishing, trade in food products, and the ability for young people to move freely between UK and EU, energy and strengthen ties in a number of policy areas. Wait a minute. The young people, were they not all these years from 2016, were they not moving to and fro in Europe freely? Even myself, I traveled freely. Even though we were out of EU, I traveled to EU countries. So, so why would going into EU be something that is winning for us when, I mean, these people, they better go to Africa and see African people, third world countries. They travel, whether they have union or not or whatever, doesn't bother them, right? They do trade, they survive. Look at Ghana, look at Nigeria. These places, they do business, they do trades. In South Africa, they do trade. So what has us going into the EU mean regarding trading? I just don't understand their psychology in the whole thing. Okay, now let's look. The winner, as according to the British Broadcasting Corporation, which is BBC, says UK food exporters to EU could see fewer checks, lift bans on raw meat. Well, who are the losers? The people who don't want UK to follow the rules of EU. Yes, we are the losers because we do not want EU to control our states. This is our sovereignty. We can't give that up. This is the United Kingdom. Why should we give up our sovereignty to Europe? Why should Europe be making decision for us? I remember they were talking about trade. I remembered when they said all bananas should be straight, they should not be bent. All foolish laws. Okay, so now let's see. I say, well, people who, yeah, the losers are people who don't want UK to follow the rules of the European Union. Well, they should be wise enough to look at the third world country and see how they manage their trading. Well, if it wasn't for the Western world, the African country will not be poorer, right? So that's, I leave it as that. Right. So that UK should follow this is the deal, that UK should follow the to follow future European standards. See, they are passing their laws on us now. This is all due to Keir Starmer. Standards on food. So, well, which is the dynamic alignment to accept the European Court of Justice, to have the final say in any disputes, okay, in this area, that is in food area. Well, in many areas, even in the boundaries, who comes into our country and who stays into our country. The European Union, the European Court of Justice, they make the decision. They make the final decision. When our court, that's not independent. We are an independent state. So I just sit down and watch and see how these European people are bullying everywhere in the world. Very soon there will be no United Kingdom, because if our decisions is made in Brussels, our final decision is made in Brussels, then what made us an independent state or a sovereign country? I don't think anything. So now let's look on regarding this fishing, because it's one of the areas which was discussed. Now, fishing in the EU, right? They are the winner. They are the winners because fishing vessels have got 12 years of fishing in our waters. Far cry from what Boris Johnson signed on with them, because it is higher than what Boris Johnson signed with agreed with them. Now we're having 12 more years that these people can fish in our waters. I don't know what Keir Starmer was thinking. When they gave him that power, he thinks that he can use it and to just fob the people, throw the people away from their decision. He didn't have respect for the British people, to know that these British people did sign a referendum for us to leave Europe. Why does he want to take us there again? Why? This is a step closer to us going back into Europe, and it's a laughing stock. Okay, right. So it says the 12 years of access in our UK waters. EU have the rights to access to fish in UK waters until 30th June 2038. So we see how Keir Starmer has taken us to where he wants us to be. So Sir Keir Starmer moved on from political. Sir Keir says we have moved on. This deal moved us on from political fights about Brexit, as the UK and European Union agrees to major reset of relations. What? Well, the rest is history. So I am now going to post the shorts in my channel. I hope many people understand how this political manipulation is being done. The EU is quietly manipulating the United Kingdom so that they can catch us. They want to take our country over. Why? Because how would you be making our decision in Brussels? Why? Why would you be making our decision in Brussels? Our decision should be made in the United Kingdom because we have our own court of justice here. So they have no respect for the United Kingdom justice system when the government make that. So there will be no significant law regarding our country's borders because the European Court of Justice will have to be making the laws regarding our borders. And when we look at it, there are many European lawyers in the United Kingdom Parliament. So I leave it there. If you like this channel, if you like this content, please do like, share, subscribe, and for me to enable me to bring more live products program for you. Well, God bless you and keep you. Have a wonderful day and a blessed week too. God bless you and keep you. I love you. God loves you more.